that the value, and the type of the value is string. It will help us tomorrow also that we are going to use it, today also that we are going to use it. Okay, it is the way. Now I am going to remove this breakpoint and let's continue. Let's continue. Yeah, it's added automatically. It's actually, I don't need it, but it's added here. I can delete it. Let's use command. This is command line. It can be single line or it can be multi-line. You can create like this, and you can write this is multi-line command. Yes, it is possible that you can use, and also that let's write a control plus key plus C. It will be commenting selected code, and another one. Let me copy and then paste control key U. It will be uncommenting the selected code. Okay. And yes, it will be useful that you are going to use it if you select the code part, and if you press Control key and C, then the code part to be commented, and then selected code part. If you press Control key and U, then it will be uncomment in our code. Let's comment it out this part, and then yes, we can use integer, that the number 1, for example. Let's 1, and then int number 2 is 2, and then we can use int sum. Of course, if we are going to calculate here, it is number 1 and plus number 2. Yeah, it's possible. But if we are going to add to some variable the later, of course, over some that need to be starting value, it can happen show an error if there is no starting value. Yes, it is possible that we are going to use, and let's work a little bit with string, and we are going to string for define variables as a string, and let's write and some string methods I would like to show you, and then let's string data first. Let's data. It will be let's lexicon Malmö and space here. Yes, and then let's work with this string, and let's create another one here. Of course, that tomorrow we are going to see it is index number that each string has. The index number here, for example, L is index number 0, that the E is 1. It starts from 0, and then the second element will be index number 1, and the third element, it will be index number 2, and so on. It is index number, and we are going to see it also. We are going to use it together with arrays, of course, that it has index number, and the lists later that we are going to use. Let's define another string. Let's use string methods. And if you want to get a part of the string from string, the given string, it is substring that we can use. Substring gets 1 or 2 parameters that we can use. Let's get, for example, whole data. And here, let me show you another things here. If you write, for example, like this, data, and between square brackets and 0, and then it will show. Let me comment it out now, and then this one will show the first character. It means that the first character. Let's run the code. Now it will show L in the console. Yes, it is L. You can see here. Yes, we are going to use it. You can access the string elements. Uh, yes, and now let's try to use substring dot substring. It will take one or two parameters. Let's start from 0, and it means this substring method, it is string method, and it will get the characters from first element. It means that from index number 0, and it will assign, it will get from data, it is string, and it will assign to another string. It is all. And let's put a breakpoint, and then let's see what we have in this all. If you run the code, and then in these locals that you can see, lexicon Malmö, it's assigned to all. It's to all, okay? And it's string again. And yes, we can um, use it with one parameter, or we can use with two parameters. A second parameter that we can use how many characters that we are going to get from a given string. Let's string part 1, for example, at the part 1, and I need to remove this breakpoint. And then let's data dot substring. Let's get from first element, and how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's write 7 elements. That it will get the first part, that the lexicon inside from this data string. And let's put breakpoint and run the code. And now we are going to see that the lexicon, it's assigned to part 1, that we used two parameters here. First parameter will define that it will start from which index number, and the second parameter that we are going to use it for how many characters that we are going to get from a given string. It is substring method. And let's create another string, part 2, and let's start from 8, from character 8. Yes, and let's take five characters. It's index number 8. It will start from index number 8, and five elements that we will get from given string. Let's put breakpoint again, run the code, and then part 2, it has that the Malmö, and yes, five characters that we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 characters. It will get from given string. Yes, we can stop and remove breakpoint. And now let's see another string method. Let's use, for example, we can remove, but of course strings are immutable, and because of that we need to create a new string. We cannot change. It means that immutable means that we cannot change the string. Yeah, we can create another strings, and then we can assign to there. Let's string and data removed. Let's name data removed. And for it, that we can use another method, that the remove method. It is another string method. It is very, very useful and very important to learn the methods, that string methods, array methods, list methods. And of course, later we are going to use over methods together with classes and so on. Yes, it will remove, for example, let's 8. Let's 8. And then it will remove the 8 characters, and it will assign to this data removed variable. Let's run the code. Let's put breakpoint and run the code. And now that the lexicon is removed here, and it assigned to another variable that we can use, that the remove method. Let's see another method. It is replace that we can use string. For example, data replace, we can replace the info, data replaced, and is equal data replace, for example, data dot replace. Yes, we can use directly value as a string, for example, here, or that variable. It is possible. Let me use first like this, not like this, like this. Let's change that the lexicon, this information, to be replaced with this information, that the lexicon, for example, and semicolon, and then let's put breakpoint here again. And now we are going to see what will happen. It will that the first lexicon will be replace the second lexicon. Here that the data replaced lexicon Malmö, that we can use. It is another useful method. Of course, there are a lot of methods that we can use. Uh, and another one that the useful string data trimmed, that's the trimmed method that we can use. Data.trim. It is by default it's space character. It applies for space character by default, but we can use with any character. It trims if we have for example, for this, and if we have the space surrounded the text, beginning and the end of the text, not in the middle of the text. Of course, that for it that you need to write some code. It trims the given characters. By default, it is space character. Now let's see. We have space here, end of this text, end of the lexicon Malmö. But it will not trim this one, just this one. If we have also beginning of the text, it will trim to it. And then let's run the code. And then you can see that the data trimmed. We don't have space here, that in data trimmed. This space is trimmed. Of course, can be 2 or more spaces. It will trim. Even that if you have, for example, hyphen here, and then if you use it with hyphen, yeah, it's possible, and then it will trim these hyphens. Then let's stop, and then let's run it again. And now you can see it's trimmed with this hyphen that you can use, but by default, it is space character. Uh, let's see now. Let's see. I am going to finish now. It is a little bit. That's another one that it is split method. It is split method. It will divide by the given character. By default, also that a space character. It will divide by given character. That the given string will divide by the given character. And it is split method. It is also very useful, and it will create the arrays, and the result at the result it will create the array. We are going to discuss tomorrow with array, and let's create now. Let's create an array, string array, and let's parts, and then is equal, for example, data dot split method. It is space character by default, and now it will divide by that one, that we have one element it will add, and the second element, and here also that we have space. Let's see what will happen. Let's put breakpoint and then run the code. Now let's see here parts, and here that the three elements, it shows 3 elements. Let's go over the parts, and you can see here that the first element, it is lexicon, and the second element is Malmö, and the third element is empty string, because we have space, and after that we have nothing, and it shows space character. Yeah, we can solve this problem. Also, that if you right click on this array, and then if you go to quick watch, and here also that you can see first element, second element, and the third element. Okay, and we can solve this problem we can solve this problem like this. We can chain the method. Let's string, for example, and then let's create another one that the parts that name parse streamed, and then equal. Let's data dot trim. First, we can trim, and then we can chain the method. We can use split method, and it means that the chaining the method, of course, that we can chain as much as we need, or we can use if something problem that we cannot use, and then Visual Studio will show squiggly red line that under the method, or the where that we have error, and then it will show an error, and then we can understand we cannot use like this, or what we have actually if it's not working. Now we can chain method, that's a tree method, and split method, and then let's check it. If we run the code, now you are going to see that this problem is solved, that we have two elements, and then let's right click and quick watch. Here you can see that the first element, first we trimmed surrounded the text, that is spaces, or which character that we have, and then we divide it by space character. And now this array has two elements. One of them is lexicon, and another one is the malime, and then it is also uh, actually way that we can use in our code. Yes, it is actually enough for today. And so